Good evening. I'm Teddy. It's time for Night Talk on this Thursday, February 5th. All right, so let's get started. Sound is good, I hope, and welcome back. Shout out to the mob. All my other bears, I call the grizzlies and the honey bears. You know, so what can we get into for about 20, 30 minutes? It's what is it? 10:48 my time. And who's out in the chat right now? I see you. My moderators. That's good. Sound is good. Thumbs up. Great. Survivor. Here again. All right. Mimi Twin. You joined us this morning for a little mocha. Gosh. Yeah. Nothing on the docket. No, not again. Or I should say, it's still silent. So, just because it is doesn't mean that, things aren't moving along. But I can say this, that, how should I say it? There's information the court needs in order to move this process forward. Okay? And because of that, I think even answering or responding, to my motions, anything right now that appears on the docket, right? Yeah. Because I can't imagine with the number of filings that have happened since the year began that between myself and the defendant, that the court is going to want to piecemeal anything together. No. No. And they may be looking at everything, the clerks reading through all of it and making an assessment. But through the lens of non-compliance right now. Yeah. So I just want to say that because people think, I think, people think that silence means nothing is happening. In court, silence often means just the opposite. So, with this disclosure order that the court is saying, before we can go any further, I need this basic information. And said another way. Yeah. So courts do issue disclosure orders. This is normal, you know, in cases where there is a John or a Jane Doe. Yeah, that information is required. Mhm. When identity matters, I should say, and jurisdiction depends on it, or enforcement, it just would be impossible without it. And think of it like this, or at least I'm thinking out loud. When a party does not comply, a few things mm, I understand typically happen. In this case, the order remains in effect. Non-compliance, it's noted. You can say silently in the record, and every later filing is read or seen through that. And judges usually do not issue multiple reminders. They don't. Courts are not customer service. They give one clean order, and that's enough. Yeah. And silence from the court does not equal approval either. Sometimes it means that the judge is letting the record mature, you know, because each filing that has come in from the defendant who's filing, it would only strengthen the eventual ruling. So, pile it on because it's being piled on. Yeah. So I am sure, even with everything the court is dealing with, this is normal. And perhaps they just don't want to invite any, you know, any games, I guess you could say, versus trying to respond to, all of these different motions. individually. We've seen this happen before. The judge will wait and, respond to multiple orders, or, or multiple, yes, filings under one order. That's how I want to say it. Respond to multiple filings with one order. Yeah. There's something else. I just want to think about how I can say it. And let this land on the ears where it belongs. I don't treat private mail or emails as legal notice. If something matters in this case, it needs to be filed with the court or served through the same address used for service of process. The legal email, that address that was used for service of process. That's it. I'll say it once. Because I don't consider off docket correspondence to be legal notice. And any communications intended, said another way, to have a legal effect should be filed with the court. I respond to filings, not letters. Needs to be through the court. It's legal. Mhm. Um, there's a lot going on. There are certain things that I'm not going to address unless it's, filed. That's really that's really where it matters and where it belongs. I mean, when we're talking about something that has, legal bearing, weight, that's where you're going to find it on the record, filed with the court. Yeah. Fair use commentary for education, for criticism, for news reporting, um, for, yeah, for information. That's how it's done. I see we have some folks out in the bushes. And And yes, you can email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com for all others. Let's see. Hmm. I'm just looking at an email that just came by. I mean, that just came by, that just dropped in my email box. Yeah, yeah. How about that? Good evening to Jennifer and Mimi. Thank you so much for the 5 Unwind with Teddy memberships tonight. Yeah, yeah. What were you watching? Yes, we'll leave Mimi up there for a minute. Um, was there a troll in the chat last night? I don't know. I was about to answer it a certain way. um, what did you see? Because last night I didn't really look at the chat. I didn't. I'm looking at it now. I came on and I talked for at least 50 minutes, and I really didn't look at like I'm looking now. Right? Tell me more. It was someone you were talking to in the video who was talking about station head. Sounded trollish behavior. Hmm. Who you were talking to in the state? Well, I know I was on station head earlier yesterday doing like a audio test, and I did see a couple of folks stroll in to a station head, yeah, that um, that I don't think have ever not visibly been here, like in the chat, the barricade. Oh, you mean earlier this morning? Hmm. You mean during Mocha? Oh, this evening? I mean, I posted a video. I made some edits so that it would be a little different for Unwind with Teddy that than I posted during the premiere. So I'm not sure. Maybe I have to think. Yeah. If you want to put it in the chat, private chat, remind me. You know what I'm talking about, I think. I know I ain't crazy yet. No, it's late for me. I'm sorry. Um, Okay. I'll think. Let me just, yeah. Today. Gosh, I've been doing. Are you talking about a video that I put up? Because I put up like a 20-minute video about something that happened. You know, when I thought they were a troll. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, that's the only one. But the purple hair, but that um yes. Maybe you weren't in the when they're in the chat now. I thought they're I'm good evening, good evening. I think oh, wait a minute. Let me just yeah, this is what I'm saying. It must be the video that I posted. The short clip. Survivor says me. Yeah. I think we realized that I thought, but then uh, you posted, uh, what was it, over on Stationhead? And I don't know if you're still up live on Stationhead or if you took it down. Yes. Yeah, I did listen to a little bit of your Stationhead. I did. Yeah, someone sent me an email and said that there was a live. I mean, it was, you know, and that I should listen, just check it out. Yeah. I haven't looked at LSA. I haven't looked at um, really anything else. I did see you put like a heart or something, like on Twitter, like a post. I did see that. Oh, yeah. Conversations about Lipstick Alley always give you the side eye. Mm, yeah. What was said on Stationhead? Can we hear it? It was actually, gee, when was it? It was a really snowy day and I was driving. So I turned it on. Um, it wasn't just about um, my channel. No. So I listened to that part. And I listened to something else as well. Really? Okay. Survivor says, I've made many shows outlining your case to bring awareness. On Stationhead or on Twitter or LSA? Um, all right. Yes. Well, thank you. Maybe it's getting out there, you know. Um, I don't see any, I don't have anything negative to say about that. If it's getting out and it's, again, I haven't listened too much, so I'll have to listen. Yeah, because if it's, if it's deactivated, I listened to it that one time. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Please support the channel by hitting the like. Mhm. Oh, all right. So we have someone, Golden Monroe. Your voice is very soothing. It gives radio vibes. Oh, you're mostly in the bushes. All right. Well, welcome to the Bear Cave. All right. Miss Vaughn is coming in. Uh, Jennifer, yes, one of our regulars, I will say, says, "Forgive me if I'm coming across negatively. I am just very guarded about certain things. Lots of experience over here." And you know what? Survivor, I think you mentioned that during your station ad, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, you. It's almost like you expected it. In other words, you weren't offended by it because if people know anything, about this channel, especially now, we are going to be guarded. There are traps being set, and I need to be cautious. And, if you uh, err on the side of caution, that's okay, right? That's where it comes from. So, yeah, you can always, you know, correct, right? Especially when I mean, you can tell, I think you can tell if someone has, um, maybe can't, their intent. You don't know truly, but um, you can get a vibe, right? No. And a person who um, is sincere and they're not a troll, they're not going to get all bent out of shape about it. No, they're not. They're not. Yeah. So, just to be clear to everyone, when I saw her avatar, that picture, this one, I did. I said that, the purple face and the green hair, it's like, it caught my attention. And so, yeah, I think I said something like a smiling face, only it's a purple face or pink face, something like that. Yeah. And I did. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it was kind of interesting. I may have said cute, funny, whatever. Hmm. Yeah. It's your signature look. All right. And that's all right. You thought it was an emoji, one of those emojis. Okay, so now here we are again. You are going to be our topic for the next. See, it just makes it curious. I know. Um, that maybe says, "Survivor, your pig looks like you escaped from somewhere." It's just a um, wow, wow. Okay, everyone has their own impression. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was all in fun. I laughed. You know, I remember saying, "I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing." I just thought it was kind of funny. Yeah. So, and since then, I haven't thought, um, you know, much about it. Yeah, I thought we handled it okay. All right. People want to make you explain yourself. Could that be for me or for someone else? Oh, let's see. Let's throw you up so people can see. Oh, golden. I may have seen your avatar. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Golden Defiance Monroe. All right. Says, hello, everyone. Just popped in to show some love. I liked the video. Thank you for liking the video. Everyone have a good night. Yeah. We're not going to be on late. Thanks for stopping by. You're welcome to come by. Um, yeah, for checking us out. Kind of look like me in the morning. Yeah. Yeah. Vicky says golden. Yeah. Yeah. Have a good night, golden. Thanks for dropping into the bear cave. Yeah. Come again. Yeah. I should have asked. Well, if she comes back. Um, yeah. Where was I before this? I was just looking at an email. Mm, okay. I will try to respond um, after, you know, after I wrap things up here. As a matter of fact, we're going to do that um, here shortly. It's 11:19. By 11:30, I think we're going to finish up. And yes, you can email me. Mhm. I appreciate that. Good. Jennifer says, kind of looks like me in the morning if I put a wig on. Yeah. So, see, we have a sense of humor. We're not really, you know, we're just cautious, um, and yeah, yeah, and rightfully so. I better not tell that story. I was getting ready to tell a story, short story, but it might end up with someone saying, "Oh, there you are, Karen." So I'm not going to tell that story. Oh, but this one, yeah. All right. What is this? Not that I'd be putting on wigs in the morning. I did anyone else have that thought? I you know what? I didn't think about it. But I know you're just teasing. I just said that because y'all know I'm bald. You know what, Jennifer? I don't really know that to know that. I think I've heard you say it. Uh, but even when I've seen what I thought was a picture of you, I really can't remember it being that way. It's like, were you wearing a hat or something? You see, I don't even really remember. Yeah, yeah. But there's nothing wrong with being bald. There really isn't. Or you know, yeah. Let's see. Golden said, "Child, I slapped me on a wig so quick. I love my wigs." You know what? I have it right here. Um, yes, the Nancy Guthrie, the family. I was looking at their plea again. Came from the Sun this time. Well, they all said, recently on Instagram a post pleading for the return of their mother, or a response to this ransom note. And they were given two, um, I guess you can call them deadlines. The first was today at 5 o'clock, and the next one is for Monday. But they want to know that there is proof of life. And I think they're very serious. It's like you watch that and your heart just breaks to see them sitting there, imagining. Now it's going on, I believe, almost 5 days, 4 or 5 days, and they're holding out that their mother, is at least alive and maybe can hear the voice, see something, that they want to see, that it's absolutely, her, some real sign, because with technology, it can make it appear like it's something different. So, yes, they're holding out hope. But when I saw, you know, the blood that was found on the porch, I don't know if you probably saw that video, and I don't know if it's been removed yet. But the DNA analysis, it was of Miss Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie's, and the front door camera was missing. The sheriff had a conference. If you watch that, they did like a timeline, and I believe it was around, like, we'll just say around 1:30 a.m. when the camera was removed. They didn't have the subscription at the time, so there's some indication, I guess, with technology, something that gives um, some type of indication that it was a person, but they can't be certain because they don't have the picture, that video footage. So, and it just has to be heartbreaking. Plus, I heard the ransom. Someone asked the question, how much was the ransom for? Again, I can't be certain, This was not. Um, I call him the sheriff. I think it was TMZ. Don't quote me on this, but it was like $7 million. Yes, Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Yes. The Apple Watch. Tell me a little bit more about that part. And yes, she needs her medication, the pacemaker. At some point, they didn't have, you know, how you get a tracking of that, a response. Yeah, that stopped at a certain period of time, or at least some distance away where it wouldn't be recorded. So it's just it's um it's devastating. They're holding out hope, but this is an 84-year-old woman who needs her medication. It's a grandma, a mother, and they now have the FBI involved. Quantico. I mean, they're doing um, basically round the clock. And of course, they're not telling us everything. But to see the family make the plea, it's serious. They're taking the ransom um, note serious, and they say that there's something in that note that makes them um, believe that way. Now, there was a guy who was arrested. I'm not looking at any report right now. I'm just trying to recall a guy who was arrested, I believe, because he was like a fake ransom note. All right, taking advantage of that. So yeah, it's sad. It's very serious, and so far they don't have any suspect. They don't have a person of interest. The last time I looked, and it was just before I came on, because I was going to talk. And thank you for bringing that up, because that really is uh, an important story. It is. Yes. All right. So Jennifer says yes. One guy was arrested for a fake note, and Golden says yes. It seems kids just want to pay whatever to get mom back. Yes. If I had it, I would too. For yes, there is no dollar amount, and of course they want to know, right? Trigger warning. Thank you. Trigger warning. It is very sensitive. Very. Um, that was, to me, when I look at the amount, it was more than little droplets. At least one area was more like splatter. I know. Certainly an injury occurred. Some type of injury occurred. Um, you know, um, that would cause, um, you know, a blood to be left. Um, don't know what kind of injury. Could have been a struggle getting, you know, you know, they're keeping all of that. They're not really talking about that part. So it would just be speculation, and I don't want to do that. Mhm. According to TMZ, they got the same letter as the police, and the police told them that the location of the watch was right and it had not been released. So that's what made it, all right, yeah, gave it more weight. Plus, did you hear someone mention that no, it was, I believe, the sheriff, right? Said something in the letter note made him think, if I'm not mistaken, that is someone local. You know, did you hear that part? There's so many people reporting. I don't want to get that mistaken. And then someone else said, "Well, you want to keep it open, right?" So that's the Apple Watch. Hmm. All right. Well, what is the latest? Let's see. And then we will wrap it up. See if I can go to CNN. I have to say, why are we targeting? There was another strike on one of those boats in the Pacific, killing two. Okay, that I just. Uh, the latest. So Nancy Guthrie's son pleads for mother's return in a new video after the first deadline in apparent ransom note. Let's see if we can hear this.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie
Oops. Let me go back to it. Turn off my mic.
family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you and we are waiting for contact.
So Wally, what does that mean in the context of what Harvey Levin just said, which is that the letter itself said, we have your mother, she's okay but scared, and this will be the only contact. It sounds like from what he's saying that has been the only contact.
You need two to tango. You just can't just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and wait for someone to call you. You have to have a conversation, a dialogue. You have to develop that, and he's not getting it. It's just going through an internet letter that's going to them. And if you're going to do any type of negotiating, you have to have the other person on the other side of the coin. You need to have to start the negotiations by having some sort of listening, trusting, developing that conversation that's so important. They're getting nothing. They even had I believe there was a drop site was put in for a drop for money. No, but there's no place. There's no conversation. The most important thing is they want to know that their mother is alive. They want some sort of indication that the mother is okay, or they want to physically see her, and they're getting nothing in that respect.
So you heard that, and they have experts in negotiation that they've sent in. But how do you, like he said, it's got to be two-way, and there has to be some type of trust, develop. How does that happen? Yeah. So far, they've only had the one note. Yeah. Jennifer says, I know sometimes people don't want to leave their homes, even when they are older. But why was this 84-year-old woman living alone when she has kids with money? she was not, um, from what the family is saying, she was in her, health mentally. She had some uh, physical limitations, but not to the extent that she couldn't live alone. But I get your point. Yeah. And it looks like she had money too, or at least had the means. I mean, if you look at the home, someone said it's, $1 million homes in that area. So she looked well taken care of. But I get it, 84-year-old living alone. Um, a lot of times people want to live. They feel they can take care of themselves, even up in age. They do. But I get your point. Yeah, living alone in a large home like that, but she felt safe. Yeah, maybe. But I know. Yeah, yeah. Apparently, I mean, she could take care of herself. She could bathe. She could do things on her own. Yeah. And for a lot of people, they want to continue to do that as long as they can. Yeah. But I definitely get your point. Yeah. With children, she has, it looks like she was what, two daughters and a son. And then she has grandchildren too, I believe. Yeah. That's right. Vicky says, when certain people get their age, they don't want to leave their home. That is the one thing. And now I even see it so important. That is identifying with their comfortable surrounding. I know you would. I know. Jennifer says, let me shout it because I know I would. Having to leave my home too. Yes. That's the one thing an elderly person does not want to do. If they have their wits about them, you know, their faculty, um, and clear, they don't want to leave their home. No, a lot of them just don't. Yeah, they might say, "You can come live with me." Yeah. It's kind of like they're. It's something that they can control. Yeah, that's what it is. Their independence, yes, and something they have control over. You take that away from them. You take driving away from them. Some should. But the more, yeah, it is their safe space. It is. Joanne, good evening, says either a local handyman or a possible relative. Someone had been in that house many times. A stranger wouldn't have known where all the cameras were. I believe they said there were 3. Didn't they say that? Also, because of all the plants. Did you see all of that? And shrubbery behind the house that is common in the Southwest. Anyone could have hidden back there for just the right time. Yes. Yes. I think about that, as a matter of fact. Yeah, if someone were to drive by my house. I have made some changes in my landscaping. I have. Mm-hmm. Yes. I won't say anymore. But yeah, I did see those tall shrubs. Yeah. And it's beautiful, but it does create a place where a person could hide and not be, yes, seen. Wow. Yeah. I just hope, the family, bring her home. And unspoken, they would just want them. Of course, they want their mother. They're going to hold out hope that she's okay, and they're not going to get any rest or sleep or eat. They're going to look the way they are because you're running on adrenaline and hope and love, and it's a loss, a visible, physical loss right now. They want their mother safe. Yeah, it's just heartbreaking. Oh, it was a local. All right, so TMZ said they thought it was a local person. Okay. All right. Well, we will learn. We will learn a little more. I said I was going to look. I played that, and let's see. Let's see. Holding out hope. Um, 55 minutes ago. Let me just refresh and see what they. Here's where things stand. The fifth day of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance has nearly passed, but investigators are still working hard, following leads as the family continues to plead for help, finding their beloved mother. They are looking for, right now, any video surveillance in the area. Um, you heard the brief message from the son, the demand for millions of dollars in Bitcoin in exchange for Nancy's safe return. Wow. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Uh, yeah, maybe something will um, show up. Contact, you know. Oh, is that why they're using or asking for the Bitcoin? A lot of criminals use it to evade tracking of money. I know. That's what I thought. Jennifer, we'll just read this one. You have a relative who lives out there, has that same thing behind their house. $1 million gated community. You just never know. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Um, yeah, it could be a retirement community. Yeah. Yes, to take an 80-year-old woman, it's just sad. Yeah. Crypto. Yeah. All right. That will do it for me. And that takes us right to an hour that we spent with you. And thank you for stopping by, all of you here tonight, and for the conversation. Yes, even Golden. Yeah. Thank you for asking about the news on Miss Guthrie's and her family. Yeah. That's it. Obviously knew her value. Yeah. I've checked my email. I'm good. All right. That's it for me for tonight. Biggest bear hug goes out to all the grizzlies and honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out and join me sometime tomorrow. But now it's time to say goodnight. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.